over. We made it. I came, I conquered, I survived, and I am here. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Go get that CJO, go for that training, and go get those wings. Just like me.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. Once again, if you're new, my name is Priscilla. Welcome to my next location. If you've been following these series of videos that I've been creating, you would know that I was in flight attendant training with a major US airline company. Yes, I was. I showed up, I did my 6 weeks, I put in my time, and I did it. So I have been creating like weekly videos and stuff like that. I started off strong and ready to go, and I was giving the videos. I was trying to do a day-by-day recap, and then week 3, I think, was it week 3? Yes, week 3 or week 2 hit, and then it started to become real. So I could not give the daily recap for every week like I wanted to, because I wanted to give as much real-time content as possible, but I couldn't do it. Even with week 6, oh my God, don't even get me started. I barely made it through week 6, and I literally was not in the mood to record anything about week 6. I tapped out, and we're gonna get into all that nitty-gritty information, but I try to give weekly information, real-time information, because I've said in the past and in all my videos, I am here for that new flight attendant who hit that submit button and started the process of becoming a flight attendant. I am here for that person who has an event is scheduled probably next week, Monday or Tuesday, and is preparing for it. I'm here for you. I'm here for that new flight attendant who probably just got your wings, so you're still trying to figure things out. I am too. So let's figure it out together. Let's get into week 6 video. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you, I will be giving you guys like a recap of how my final week in training went. Just give you like a summary of what we did, what happened, and then also how it all ended. But I will post week by week. So if you're watching this, this is the last week of training video recap. Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. Okay, let's get into it. Flight attendant training for the airline company that I applied to was 6 weeks long. Yes, 42 days, including the day that I actually arrived at the location, so 43 days. We're not playing here. They were not playing. And the final week for me in this training session for my class started off with our training flight. So you would have, if you do go for training, you would have the opportunity to actually be on an actual flight and actually help customers, like the real job, like the day-to-day experience. So you're definitely going to get that from the safety perspective and from the customer experience perspective. So that's what I'm gonna say, because I am big on you going there and actually getting surprised or figuring things out as you go. I'm here to let you know that it's doable, it's manageable no matter what happens, but I also want to leave a few things out. That way when you do get there, you actually get the full experience, because it's not fun when you already know what to expect, is it? Exactly. So that was actually kind of nice, because it gave you the opportunity to see the job for real, you know, in true life sense. That way, if you're still not sure, or if you weren't sure, or you're still trying to figure out if this is right for you or not, this is a great opportunity for you to get that experience or that exposure. And you get 2 opportunities to do it. So week 6 for me started off with one of those flights. This was definitely, week 6 was definitely a learning curve for me throughout the whole week. I mean, the whole experience was, because I've never been in the industry before, but it's one thing not knowing something and then going in and being thought, because everybody knows that you don't know. And then there's one thing, people expecting you to know something and then you don't know it, and then it feels kind of weird. So that was it for me for week 6. And it was when we talked about like actually serving people drinks and beverages, like the actual service that we provide. So one thing to note is that I know I did say this in one of my videos before I went for training, but it was confirmed. Our role is honestly safety bound and not cookies and pretzels, serving cookies and pretzels. We spent 5 weeks talking about safety related things. So even on the week where we're talking about the day-to-day flight attendant duties and responsibilities, it was also safety oriented. Let's get this correct. So that's what it was. We actually spent about 2 days collectively talking about service, like detailed service, like beverage, food, snacks, all that good stuff, wine, drinks. Just 2 days out of the 42 days that I was there. So that should tell you that we're not here about the cookies and pretzels, guys. It's very important. It's definitely very important, and it's a huge portion or partially it influences our customer experience, but it's not what we're there for. Like, literally, like, it's part of it, but it's not the core. It's not the main ingredient of the job. Let's just put it that way. At the end of the day, know that you're going to do both domestic and international service. So obviously we serve both the domestic market and the international market. So you're going to have to do that. But week 6, I think, focused more on the international aspect, and then also customer experience and all that good stuff, right? And then there were other several activities throughout the week, because week 6 was the shortest week that we had. It was just 5 days, whereas the other weeks were 5 days or 6 days, including minus weekends and stuff like that. So it started off with the trip, and then we did the whole international service, and then some assessments were done. And the last day was other admin stuff, when they actually spoke about scheduling and other stuff. Let me just forewarn you, because I feel like nobody warned me. So let me give you the warning. Disclaimer: when you're being spoken to about scheduling in week 6, trust me, it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be a lot of information. Honestly, this is the first job I've ever had where scheduling is so complex. In the flight attendant department, the in-flight service department, scheduling is a whole beast on its own. Likewise, pay. So you're in week 1, you're going to hear about pay, how you're paid, and all that. Honestly, how the presentation was done was not the best way. If I had a way to put in feedback, I would definitely put in feedback, because pay is very important and it's critical and it's crucial to everybody. Everybody's interested in how they're getting paid. And I understand that the system and the process is very different and it's cumbersome, but that is the more reason why there should be a better way of talking about it. I'm new in the industry, so I can't say what or how it can be done, but all I know is that it should be broken down to as basic as it can be, and whoever does the presentation should be mindful and thoughtful of the fact that, hey, you have people who have even been flight attendants before who did not even understand the content that was shared. So there should be a better way of delivering that content. That's all I got to say about that. But it's going to be a lot when they're talking about pay and when they're talking about scheduling, because it has become apparent to me that it is very complex in the industry. There's a lot of moving parts, and it's very hard to wrap your mind around it. So I would say just calm down, take the information as it's given to you, and just compartmentalize it. Don't overwhelm yourself, because honestly, you're not getting assessed on how the pay system works. You're not getting assessed on how the scheduling system works. Your assessment is not related to any of those things. So don't worry about those things. You will figure out those things when you get on the line. Honestly, the hardest part of week 6 for me was that presentation on scheduling. I was like, what is going on? I was like confused. I was gone. Like, I was like, what is going on? What is happening? Somebody help me make sense of this. Like, it was too much. But after week 6, or after graduation, when I went for my when I went for my base orientation, they spoke about it again, and it was much better. I think it was more so the first time you hear about it, it's a lot because it's new information and you barely understand the terminologies and the terms that are being used in the moment. So your mind is still trying to figure that out. And then after I went for base orientation, because I had somehow heard that information before, it became like a second round or second attempt to get in or absorbing the same information. So it's easy for me to understand certain things, even though I'm still not clear till today what they're talking about, because I feel like the way the system works is more so based on trial and error and experience and exposure. But we do have mentors and people available to help us. If you do need assistance, you can always reach out. Sometimes it's just a matter of just playing with the system and just figuring out where things are and how they work and what they mean. So yeah, week 6 is week 6. But honestly, week 6 could have been shorter if you ask me. There were so many things that we did that made the week so long. But for me, 2 reasons why week 6 was hard for me, aside from the whole scheduling presentation, which was a joke, by the way. But the 2 main things that made week 6 tough for me was that people leaving, because people will leave. And for different reasons. People might leave because this is just not for them. And if you've watched my other videos, I'm sure I mentioned people leaving at some point, because it happened at several points throughout the process, at least with my class. We started off with 150 people, and I think it went to performance 152 or something like that, but we ended up graduating with 127 people. So yeah, so people leave for several reasons, and just bear in mind that you're being assessed every single week and there are different assessments. Just know that those assessments count towards your performance overall. So if you're expected to keep an average of 90%, right? Although legally you only need 80% to pass those assessments, which like that's the passing mark. 80 is the passing mark. You do have to maintain an average of 90%. So if you go and in all your written assessments, you're getting what you call it 80, 80, 80, you're passing, but your average is going to be at an 80. So you have to be very smart and strategic on what you're doing and how you're passing the scores you're earning. For me, once again, week 6 was tough because people left. And one of the reasons were maybe assessments, not being able to keep that average or failing below. Like you would get like a whole tutorial or training or presentation on how to pass assessments or how the assessments are structured. Like they would go above and beyond to provide you with all the information and the tools you need to be successful assessment-wise, or yes, assessment-wise. So don't be worried about that. One thing I will say is it will get overwhelming, especially when you're started off, but prioritize your assessments. Know that put in all the effort you can from the beginning because it's going to set your foundation for you moving forward. So using myself as an example, and I might talk about this later on when I give like an overall recap of the entire training situation. So that was the first reason for me, people leaving. It was hard because it was hard to see people that you started this journey with and knowing that they could not get to the end of the tunnel or the road with you. So that was very hard. You're having to process all these things happen at the same time while I'm still learning something new, something different. And it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, let's just put it that way. And then the second thing that made week 6 tough for me was that honestly for me, by the end of week 5, I had tapped out. So the end of week 5 was Saturday of week 5. And we had several assessments that day. We had 3 assessments that day, our door evaluation and then equipment evaluation, emergency equipment evaluation, and then also something they call EMDs. You'll figure out what that means eventually when you go. But essentially how that works is that it's an activity that includes you and other team members. So your success is dependent on how your other team members operate. So you either fail together or pass together. That's the best way to put it. But one thing I will say is it seems like a lot. It is a lot. It is honestly a lot. Like this whole training experience is a lot. It is a lot, but it's structured that way for a reason. So it's a lot, but it's manageable. Just keep yourself calm. Keep yourself in your zen. Like just remain positive, and if you have to cut yourself from the rest of the world, do so, because you cannot afford to have any distractions. There is no time to be distracted. There isn't, because the slightest distraction which can just derail you. So there's no time. So if you have to cut yourself from the rest of the world, do so, but also do things that make you happy. So even if you cut yourself out and it takes you putting yourself back into the world, maybe watching videos, YouTube videos, talking to family and friends to just get you back into your wellness being or give you more pump and momentum to keep going, then you do that. But do whatever makes you happy and comfortable. That was it. And week 5, that day, I tapped out. Like once we were going through the activities, I was done. I was over it. I just wanted to come home and just not be there anymore. Not that things were going bad, but think about it. You've been away from home for 6 weeks. You've been away from your normal life for 6 weeks, 5 weeks in this case so far. It's a lot, and you've had to readjust to new things like within a short period of time, and you have to keep going. There's no time, no break, no stop, no pause, nothing. It's go, go, go. Everything is so structured. So for me, I was tapped out. I was like, I'm done. Especially because one of the activities that we have to do is an activity that your success, your pass or fail, is dependent on you and your team members. So unlike a written assessment, I control my fate with a written assessment. It's either I answer the questions correctly or I don't. It's either I know the information or I don't. It's either I'm able to figure out an answer or I am unable to do so. But when it comes to that particular activity, your success is dependent on other people. And you might be put in a position whereby you might have to assist those other people so you can all be successful. So you have to know what you have to do, your part, and possibly know the parts that others are supposed to do as well, so that you can help them or prompt them if they miss anything. Because if they miss something, we all fail together. But don't be alarmed. It's doable. I did it and you can do it. So majority of my class, we were like literally traumatized when it came to that assessment because it was a lot. We never looked forward to that portion of the assessment or that component of the assessment structure because we were traumatized like on several occasions. On several occasions. It's just so funny that now I can laugh about it, but it was serious business then. I mean, I laughed about it then too. So for me, when we had to do it again, that was like the second time we had to do that assessment ever since I had been there. We did it 3 times. So I was done. I was done. Oh my God. I was just over it. So I tapped out. So it just made the week 6 more longer, more prolonged, more difficult. Honestly, by the end of week 5 for me and at the start of week 6, all the excitement that I had about graduation had ran out. Like, and it wasn't just me. I spoke to other people in my class and we kind of felt the same way. It's like we came in ready, let's get those wings, let's get those wings, all the excitement, all the joy. But then by the end of week 5, starting week 6 or the middle of week 6, all that drive, all that energy towards to getting those wings had just dwindled away. You know, the vim, the excitement wasn't there anymore. It was more so, okay, let's get this over and done with. Give me my wings so I can go home. That's how I felt, at least for me personally, during week 6 or at the start of week 6. So yes, and then we climaxed everything with graduation. I would definitely insert videos here and there. I definitely was not as excited about graduation as I was when I went in at first. But that being said, it was a good experience. Week 6 was good. It was sad to see people go, but everything happens for a reason. And even if it happens to you, know that at least you can say you tried. So it's one thing wanting something and not put it in the effort to try to get it. But if you did put in the effort to get it and you do end up not getting it, at least you can say you tried. And that for me is good enough. But yeah, that's the end of week 6. I am recording this video at home. Like I said, I tapped out and I was done. I was like, no, get me out of here. Get me out. But yes, we are done. Week 6 is over. 6 weeks of training is over. And we are here. So, hey, hello, welcome. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you are going for training, get yourself ready. Follow instructions. Stay out of the drama. Keep it pushing. Keep it going. Do what you need to do to get there. But enjoy the experience and be open-minded for sure. And watch my other videos, guys. Watch my other videos. I have week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This should be out before, obviously, week 6 video. So please watch the video. Support your girl. Subscribe to my channel. You've made it this far, so you might as well just hit that subscribe button to support your girl. Give the video a thumbs up and share my video. Please feel free to share my video on all social media platforms. Feel free. Share the video. Share the love. And drop a comment in the comment section below. How was your training? Did you recently train? Complete your training? Are you preparing for training? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.